All right, we're live. Well, no,
Live.
we're not live.
We're, oh yeah, I guess that's a good point. We are recording
In the past,
in the
in
past.
July
Recording in the past.
31st.
Yeah. Did
Good
you
Lord.
see?
Hmm.
Oh, here was something that was happening. We were talking about what we should discuss this podcast. The the Trump deal with the EU.
Uh, Tell me about it.
You heard about that? So basically, what happened is that the EU kind of acquiesced to his tariff threats, and
Oh,
France is
that's
pissed.
right.
Macron said, "Oh, we just is basically just like submission type thing."
And
So
Macron.
essentially what happened was that they're like, oh, Germany in particular, there's like, oh, everything we do is towards the US. So if we don't acquiesce, we're kind of screwed. But other people within the EU were saying, oh, we shouldn't have done that. Like we should have just waited it out, this sort of thing. So because the deal was essentially just, okay, yes, we accept tariffs.
Yeah, I did
Obviously,
hear
it's not
about
like
that.
signed fully now. It's got to go through like all the steps, but it's agreed on.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they were just wanted the stability, but like, I wonder how stable the deal even really is.
It's just
I
fear,
know
man.
Macron is like a real. I mean, he's going. I know he's like he's cheesed, fam, because he's going to recognize Palestine, and like that's
Yeah,
like the
the
U.S. isn't
Canada
happy
too,
about
man.
that. Oh, us too,
Yeah,
far out.
yeah, yeah, that's too.
And
I don't
then
know really. I don't really know what that means though. Like recognize, like what does that mean?
I think
Does
they
it just
get
mean like we
to.
go into a court and say, yeah, Palestine? Like
I mean,
like how,
I
how
think
does
if
that?
they're recognized by enough countries, they get to be. I don't know, like does Palestine get a representative at the UN? Probably, like right now.
Well, I don't know. Like how many does every country have
I believe
a
so.
representative in the UN?
I think they can. I don't know if they do. Some people, I mean, they can. I think there are people who are banned. I don't know if North Korea has somebody at the UN.
Yeah, yeah, probably not. No, I see what you're saying. Um,
Oh, they do
and
have a
what would that
representative.
change? What would it change for them having a representative in the UN?
No, they already have one. So what does it what's the meaning? Like what
Like, is it just a
happens?
political thing? Like, is it just like, oh, we look good now? Like,
No,
or
it
is
might
there an
open
actual,
doors to something,
like,
but I'm just completely
substantial?
ignorant.
Yeah,
It
same, man.
probably opens doors to something, but I don't know what it would open doors to.
Yeah, because they've been saying they were going to recognize them for a while now, hadn't they?
I don't know. I'm actually a big idiot.
Well, you see, you see, those YouTubers, the Nelk boys?
They interviewed Benjamin Netanyahu. They're from Mississauga. They're from Saga.
Yeah, yeah. They're from here, but or Saga, but they, you see, they said that all of the questions they asked were given to them by
Yeah,
Netanyahu's
yeah,
team.
yeah. They had to get everything screened. I
Yeah.
thought my friend told me that the Trump administration also screened their questions.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say as well. Supposedly it was like a joint effort, basically, which is
That's so
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, especially the fact that they came out and said that because they were already catching flack for that interview because
Yeah.
the interview was like really softball, sort of easy questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like now showing that they didn't even create the questions themselves. It's like, wow, you really just kind of became a propaganda machine for the payday. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Which I mean, I guess most political talk channels are propaganda machines for the payday, but like I don't know. Maybe most of them get all their questions sent to them. Like I don't know how that works. Or,
I imagine that happens sometimes. I mean, that's
hmm
a thing you hear. Like, I'm sure that's. I mean, it is odd that it was screened. I think it might like it's screened by two administrations. That might be. It makes me feel a little it's a little bit odd, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, it makes me a little uncomfortable as well.
But I
I mean,
think it
it's not
might
like
be
I was
normal because
listening. It's not like I was listening to their podcast or going towards them for my political advice. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
they're kind of just frat boys who got into the
from
podcasting
Saga.
space. Yeah, from Saga. Right? So it's not like they're super sophisticated political journalists or anything,
I
but
know, but
at the
they are
same
from
time, it's like,
Saga
why
though,
would you
so.
allow yourself to be put in that position?
So what you're saying is everybody from Mississauga is an idiot, basically, is what you're saying? No, I'm just
You
playing.
Mississauga guys after me.
No, no, you're right. You're right. You're right. Like I was saying, like I mean, l- there's obviously the implication of certain things, right? But if we ignore that, if we ignore the implications just temporarily, then it's kind of standard. I mean, for sure, if one world leader is going to, well, like they did the interview in what country?
I
U.S.,
don't know. I
right?
thought they went to.
Did they
I
not
don't
do it in the
know.
U.S.?
Well, let me look it up.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in the US, it would make sense that these are heads of state. If we ignore the implications, like, I mean, I can see how both of them would want to see what they were talking about
In Washington, that's where they did
to
it.
just to play the devil's advocate position.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't repeat what you said. Sorry, I didn't
Like
hear you.
uh like just to play like a devil's advocate against saying, "Oh, this is like something's going on or anything." Like if one head of state visits another country and does an interview, I mean, it's probably standard, especially with we'll say like political climate that they want to screen both parties would want to screen the questions and all that. I think that might be normal if we
Hmm.
ignore like
Maybe, yeah. I I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of questions, like, here's what I thought was odd, because I know what you're saying, and that typically interviews like that, from my understanding, is that the interviewer comes up with the questions, sends the questions to the politician's team beforehand, and
yeah.
the team goes over the questions and crosses out ones that they're not willing or they don't want to talk about.
Hmm.
But from my understanding, the way this was different was that they didn't send questions in, they were sent questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
So it changes the dynamic because it
Yeah.
wasn't even, it's not even as if it was a little bit like, it wasn't even a little bit their original ideas. It was purely, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Purely
Yeah.
propaganda, essentially.
They interviewed themselves. Far out, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, they basically just got some Canadians to interview themselves. Like,
Fuck, that's crazy.
this is crazy, yeah.
Dude, I
In
mean,
DC.
we sh
Well,
we
they
can
call
we should be interviewing people because I mean, like, we're Canadian and we can
yeah.
read questions.
Listen, they could send us some interview questions. Well,
Anybody, whoever.
it's so crazy, man. But yeah, the they're calling, maybe actually maybe we discussed this in the last one. They're calling the last election in the U.S. the podcast election because of how influential podcasters and the comedian
Oh
space
yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
on Trump winning,
Of
right?
course. And like yeah. Did you see what's his name? The former president, Biden, Joe
Yep,
Biden. His son, Hunter Biden, did an interview
I
for like the
saw that
first time in a very long time.
on Channel 5 News, the YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought
did
it
you
was a really good interview.
I didn't watch the whole thing. Like I was I'm
4 hours.
yeah, it's a long interview. I just saw the part where they talked about the crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Um,
I watched, I think I watched an hour and a half of it.
yeah,
I didn't quite finish the whole thing. I planned to go back on it, but I just never got around to it. He comes off like he looks good in it, to be honest. He looks really good in it. He seems educated and sort of like the way he speaks about things, you can see that he's got an understanding of sort of politics and history and this sort of thing.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what a crazy life that guy's led. I
I
mean,
suppose. I don't know if
just
I mean I'm not envious of it,
oh, I'm not envious either. I
but
mean,
it is yeah, it is crazy.
I can't say I'm envious of anybody who was ever addicted to crack. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
but yeah, he comes off looking really good in that interview.
He is
At
well
least the hour and a half
composed.
I watched.
Yeah, he
But
holds
it's kind
himself
of
to like
crazy.
yeah,
It's kind of crazy because in the interview, like you're kind of you're seeing this interview and you're seeing him speak, Hunter Biden. You're
yeah,
seeing him speak, and then you're comparing that to, or at least for me, I was comparing to that to things I had heard in the news or stories or rumors and stuff like that, and just seeing how like things don't quite. It's sort of like one of these situations where you have to get both sides of the story because I'm sure everything wasn't so. innocent and all and whatever, because typically things are a little bit in between. But in this particular instance, it seems like a story where for me personally, I was only getting one side of the story, and I never got his side of the story really. So seeing that interview really kind of allowed me to get a different perspective on that whole situation, not as if I was like doing intense research on it in the first place, but it sort of reinforced my previous belief that you kind of need to see both sides of any situation in politics to really understand what's going on to any deeper degree.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. Sorry. I also that felt like he held himself to a high account even in the first I watched like the first half an hour and then that
Hmm.
highlight. But like I don't understand like you remember like what crime did this guy commit and then like what year did he do that? Like I was like when I was watching it I was like he's talking about his sobriety which like amazing, fantastic. I think he's been sober 7 years, which is big thing to accomplish. But then I remembered
Yeah.
that you remember when Joe Biden was leaving, he pardoned him, and I was just thinking
Well,
like,
he pardoned a lot of people.
yes, 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 but he pardoned Biden, Hunt, his son as well, and I was just wondering like, what the heck did his son do again? So I Googled it, and his tax affairs have been under criminal investigation since late 2018. And in September 2024, he pled guilty to all the tax charges. In December 2024, Biden's father pardoned him for federal offense committed between 2014 and 2024. So for those 10
Hmm.
years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because he had a lot of charge. I think he had a gun charge. He had some drug charges, I think, these tax ones. But from my understanding, Biden's pardoning of all those people wasn't so much that he was trying to pardon. Well, from the way it was explained to me is that he was scared that Trump would come in office and just be like super authoritarian and just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
start throwing like really crazy charges at all of his political enemies and just throwing them all in jail and
yeah,
doing whatever he wanted, sort of. So this sort of preemptive pardoning was a defensive mechanism to ensure that even if something happened, they would have a certain layer of cushion where they could have some protection. Because a lot of the people, or at least some of the people that Biden pardoned, they said, "Oh, I never asked to be pardoned," and they would have actually they didn't think they needed a pardon, right?
hmm,
So it's sort of like a situation where I think it's almost like a fear response, you know?
yeah. I just
But
wanted to audit his statement and see the timeline. Like I wanted to see if I was being like fooled or I wanted to
oh
confirm
yeah,
that
I see what
these
you're saying.
crimes were like after his sub I mean before his sobriety.
What is the punishment for the
I mean
tax things that he pled guilty for?
there's no punish he got pardoned. I don't know what he would
Oh
have
no,
been
but if he
sent.
wasn't pardoned, is it a is it a does he pay a fine? Does he go to jail? Like,
I don't know what happened. It sounds like a federal tax investigation. I'm not sure what the punishments are.
yeah, yeah.
I guess it depends
Well,
on the nature of the crime.
yeah, yeah.
But I
It's
mean
kind of
it does the
interesting.
timeline does make sense. It is uh I mean like if he's been sober for that number of years then this would be
Well, in the
before
interview,
that.
he claimed that he got sober. Um, well, you said 2016, or was it 2016? You said?
I think he's been sober 7 years, which again is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. So quite a while. I mean,
Yeah, a lot,
yeah,
a
yeah,
good many years.
yeah. He said that I think he said he relapsed and then had to get sober again.
I'm not
But his
sure.
big thing was alcohol, he said as well, was a big problem for him.
Hmm. I
But
think these
because
gun charges are.
The Biden family has had a lot of issues. I mean, like in the interview, he talks about like his mom and his sister who died when they were kids in a car accident, and his brother who died as well later on when he was older. But because I guess maybe he must have had like health issues or something, because supposedly his brother had like all the bones in his body broken in this car accident, and so it's sort of a lot of personal tragedies in that family, which
Yeah, But I mean, a lot of
unfortunate.
people, that's not, yeah, sure. But life is hard for a lot of people. A lot of people have
Yeah,
personal tragedies. Don't go out there and catch a felony gun charge if you're going through a tough
yeah,
time.
no, no. I'm talking more on the addiction angle. I'm not
Yeah,
necessarily talking about the tax evasion thing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But yeah, it was interesting. I'll definitely end up going back and watching the rest of it. But that Channel 5 news guy, he does some good interviews, I find.
yeah.
Have you seen any of his other work, or
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe.
it's it's interesting because he goes into like sort of strange. He talks to all kinds of different people, but he's got an interesting uh, interview style because he's very dry almost. It's kind of unique in that way.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I have seen this guy. Yeah, he's funny.
he's very famous in on YouTube.
Mm.
But yeah, the moving back to the Trump angle here. So we were talking earlier the copper prices. Copper prices dropping 19%, man.
Yeah,
What are your did you were you following the tariffs that he had placed on copper at all, or he was
I
planning on placing?
I think he placed them, didn't he?
Well, he said yeah, but the reason why the copper prices dropped is because he rolled back on some of the tariffs that he said he was going to do. So essentially, because the tariffs weren't enacted yet, there was a big demand to get copper while it was still relatively inexpensive compared to what it would be with the tariffs,
Yeah.
and that caused the price to spike up. But as soon as he kind of rolled back on what the tariffs would look like, the prices dropped by 19%. And it was I can't remember exactly what it was. Uh, Let me look it up quickly. Okay, so it will affect certain copper imports. It'll affect semi-finished copper products and copper-intensive derivative products.
Of course.
But that's rolling back on all copper that he had said originally, which is rolling back quite a bit because it would have included like copper ore and stuff like that as well.
Mm. But what's the total, is there like a simple tariff rate that I can understand?
50%.
No, but I thought he scaled it
50%
back. Oh,
tariff.
it's still 50% on all those
No,
things.
no, but it's only because before it was on all copper products or
Oh,
copper ore, anything that had copper in it, and now it's only those two things, the semi-finished copper products and copper-intensive derivative products, which I don't know what counts as a copper-intensive derivative product, but you know.
maybe it's like in industrial processes, you have the main products and then you have byproducts. So maybe in refining copper ore, you get some other thing. And let's say
Mm,
you get like a secondary, a mineral. I don't know. And then like just hypothetically, maybe they mean stuff like that. So like because
yeah,
to get that, it's really just a derivative of the copper industry.
yeah, that
You know,
makes
but
sense,
I'm
I guess.
looking at the like US is like by far our like by a large margin our top buyer of copper.
Yeah, yeah. We sell a lot of like raw resources to them, from my understanding, and then they sell us like the finished products or whatever
Yeah, that's what it is with
for certain things.
so I think some gas like petrol.
Hmm. So what's your thoughts on the pipelines? Because my I was talking to my dad yesterday, and he mentioned that a new study by the what is it, the IAC or whatever they're called. I'm forgetting their name, but one of these big like oil and gas guys basically said that China is expected to have peak oil in 2027. So that means their peak demand will be in 2027 before they start going down, and that world oil demands will peak 2030.
I
What are your
think
thoughts on that?
I think why so soon? Why 2030? What
Uh,
about all of
well,
Asia? They're just gonna all go electric everything?
China is going really, really towards electric, from my understanding. So they're really, really incentivized to go electric because they don't want to have to be reliant on gas in other places, from my understanding.
Hmm.
And they want to be sort of separated from the US and that sort of stuff. But um, but yeah, that's just what the study found. I didn't look like super, super into it. I was
I've
just curious
always
what your
heard
take
like
is.
2060. Like I've always heard those kind of estimates. Peak oil like 2050, 2060. I mean, I guess that was a few years ago. Maybe they didn't take into account the huge shift to EVs in China, possibly. But 2020,
Yeah.
2030 sounds it's right here, 2030.
Yeah, super soon. That's what and for China being 2027, it's like a couple of years from now, right?
Yeah, I don't
It's like
believe that. I don't
way,
know.
way.
I'm having a hard time believing that.
IEA, that's what it is. IEA.
IEA,
That stands for, let me look it up.
International Energy
International
Agency.
Energy Agency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't, I don't know. It seems kind of really soon, but at the same time, I guess it would just depend on how incentivized certain countries are to get off of oil, which for China, they're very incentivized.
Yeah, but listen, hold on, brother. Aren't we globally firing up the military industrial complex? I mean, like that's cool and all, but I don't know. Tanks need like diesel, right? Tanks run on diesel. Tanks
Yeah,
don't
but
run on.
if we look at the war in Ukraine, what is driving that war the most? Drones. So why would you put the majority of your assets towards tanks when you can buy way, way more cheap drones? And drones don't use gas,
Hmm.
right? Like if you look at like all the tanks that Russia has sent into Ukraine, a lot of them just get blown up by drones without ever actually like making a significant impact, from my understanding. Maybe I'm just looking into the propaganda, but from my understanding, it's drones are really what's been shown to have changed the way warfare is being done in the modern era. So
Hey,
if we
hold
are
on.
really having this drive towards remilitarization around the world, it would be predominantly towards making the best drones, wouldn't
I'm not. It could be. It could be, man. I'm not gonna. I'm not a military expert. I'd want to have the best drones. If my drones can do backflips and stay camouflaged.
it? Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I mean,
yeah. But hold
because
on.
if you
Wait,
if
wait,
you
wait,
put
wait,
enough
wait.
explosive,
Just
if you can put up enough explosive onto a drone
yeah,
to fly it to into a tank and make that tank like unusable for like a couple of months while they try to fix it,
yeah.
like that's power, and if you get 10,000 drones, and each one of them has enough explosives to do that, like that's a lot of firepower.
Mm-hmm. It is. I mean, yeah.
But so yeah, so oil as well, like I don't know how necessary oil would be in that case, or at least obviously it's going to be necessary, but whether it's as prevalent now, or sorry, going forward as it is now, I don't know.
I was gonna make the point that don't we use uh oil and petroleum products to generate electricity for our infrastructure grid? But I'm looking at it now, and apparently it's like less than 1%. So fair enough.
We're so
Because I
okay.
was
So
gonna
what
make
is
the
it that
case that
that's doing the 99%
uh,
renewables?
hydro.
Hydro, yeah,
This might be just for Ontario. Let me
yeah.
just double check.
It makes sense hydro for us because we got so much like moving water and we got Niagara Falls and all that.
Yeah, electricity generation by fuel type. This is Canada as a whole. So give me 1 second. So yeah, 60% of our electricity generation comes from hydro, which is why we're nervous about like negotiating water rights with the US. probably,
Yeah.
because we don't want to give up anything with this, like it's important. Then after hydro, we have uranium. So that's like nuclear. So that's cool.
Hmm.
I like nuclear. Then after that, we have natural gas. So yeah, it's natural gas. Then after that, wind. Then after that, coal and coke. I don't know what coke is but it's
Yeah, I don't
co
know either.
maybe it's like some type of like almost like a charcoal, like a
Yeah, maybe.
powder. I don't know. You should Google it and we'll see it after this. So after coal and coke, we have biomass, which like
It,
I
it's a
have a,
it's a it's a coal-based fuel.
but it's like a powder, right?
Uh, it's a porous
Oh,
coal-based fuel. Yeah,
oh. What do they mean by
it's not a
biomass?
it's not a powder. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. What do they mean by biomass, you think?
Uh, Fossil fuels?
No, because we
That would
have
be oil, right?
petroleum. No, no, no. They must mean something else. Like I imagine they mean like,
Uh,
oh, we're gonna like I don't know what they mean actually, but it must mean something else. After biomass is solar, and after solar is petroleum. So that's
hmm,
0.3% of our what we use for electricity.
yeah. Hmm.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the hydro is kind of the way to go for us in Ontario.
No,
But
that's all of Canada apparently, which
how realistic how
yeah.
realistic is it for other areas like the States to get off of oil and move on to renewables? Like,
Are
is
you?
their is their grid easily adapted to renewables, or is that something that they would require putting like a ton of money into infrastructure to change? I wonder.
I mean, I bet it depends on who you ask and who pays them, but like, are we gonna
Yeah.
sit here and ask ourselves if like the number one like probably number one economy in the world can, if they want, switch to renewable energies. I mean, probably they probably could do it.
Well,
Um,
it's not about whether they could, it's about whether it's easy or not,
no, it's probably
right?
not
Because
easy. No,
it's
I mean, it
if it's hard
probably
to
has
do it, then
challenges.
it's probably a hard if it's hard to do it, it's probably a hard sell.
But
You know
another
what I
thing
mean?
that
As a
another issue,
politician.
right, is that they have a lot of debt. So I mean, like to do this, it would cost. I
Yeah,
mean, I imagine it would cost a lot of money.
that's a very good point.
I mean, maybe now is not the time to do it from a
Yeah.
purely financial perspective. I mean,
Yeah, considering the debt right now down there.
from an environmental perspective, I don't know, possibly, but from if you asked an accountant, they would say to hold off.
Yeah, it's maybe not the most immediate concern that they've got right now, but
Yeah, the
yeah.
net asset value is you know, the NPV, the net present value is looking kind of off. Oh, that reminds me, man. What's one thing you learned in business school?
One thing I oh,
Not the five P's.
profits.
You can't do the five
What's
P's.
that?
You can't do the five P's.
Well, I can't do the five Ps. Supply and demand. That's the basic. What did you learn in business school answer?
Supply and
Supply and
demand. That's economics.
demand. Economics is business, bro.
Yeah, true, true. Damn, you took supply and demand. I don't even know what I'd say. I learned
Oh, actually, you know what's something interesting I did learn
what?
is that this is my entrepreneurship class. They said that most new businesses that fail, and typically they don't fail because of competition. Competition is a problem later on, but early on, businesses fail because of poor management.
That makes sense.
And competition itself is actually not really that big. Not like if you had to list and create a hierarchy of most pressing things to watch out for, competition is actually fairly low on the list. So I thought that was very interesting because you always hear, oh, you got to stand out from the competition, make yourself like make a product none of the competition is doing. But all those things you hear is addressing how to how to solve the problem of competition. But if competition is not even the main pressing issue, then what are the things you should be looking at first, right?
Hmm.
Which
Probably like I mean probably you take an inventory. Like what do you think you do? I mean you probably take an inventory of the people on your team, what skill sets they have. probably be number one thing to do to like just
Yeah,
starting out,
I
right?
think I think good management though, because if your company is the same as all the other companies in the industry, but you have good management, I mean, you're gonna do like if the numbers work and you're able to make a profit, then you don't really need to stand out so much. I mean, you're not going to be exceptional within the industry,
Mm,
but you'll survive with good management. But without good management, even if you have a really good product, eventually your business will fail because of mismanagement,
no,
right?
I think that if you're not in the right place, you need to be with like Porter's for uh, like differentiation and then like mass market. Then you have focused niche, like you know the Porter's for I forget the name of them actually.
Four forces.
I don't know if it's that, but
So
maybe
it's
it's not even Porter. But if you don't specialize or you
five
don't
forces,
like
right?
reduce your costs, if you don't have a niche, uh, like then I think even with good management, you're just gonna fail.
If you were making a business, like if you were making, say, an imaginary painting business, and you just you had like the ability to to um to just do the work to a good degree, to a quality degree, with good management, and you understand your expenses, then what is the niche? What is the niche you're filling? Is it that you're filling a niche that needs to be filled, or is there a demand for painters or for carpenters or for whatever sort of work that you need to do that you're filling in? Because in that case, you maybe will have a successful business, but you haven't actually filled a niche. You've just filled the demand, right?
Yeah, I think that if you're I mean, like, I think to actually grow a business, then those. So I think both the things we're saying are true. So your point that, yeah, initially it's not the most pressing thing. Competition isn't the most pressing thing. Maybe good management is more important. It's still simultaneously true that if you're not in one of those four positions that we talked about, if you're in the middle, like given enough time, you will just fail. So I think you can interpret that in the real world is like so you have like the natal stage of an endeavor, and then in that natal stage, good management is critical. But then like you can never really grow into, let's say you had a department store and you don't have a niche, but you have good management. Sure, you can have a department store maybe, but you'll never have like a chain of department stores, or you'll never be like people, like it's not going to be like some people go to stores
What makes
from
you
different
think that
states,
you
like they
wouldn't
drive over
what makes you think that you wouldn't be able to have a chain, or you wouldn't be able to expand?
because that's literally I learned that for 4 years. Like I mean, like there's no
Okay,
way that's
and
not
I'm saying
true.
they taught you wrong. I'm saying they taught you wrong
No, I don't think
because
so
because
because
wait,
your
let me
competition.
expand
No,
on
no,
my
no, no.
idea here though.
Okay, fine.
Let me expand on my idea. So if you've got a department store, I don't think is a good example of this because
Let's give a
there's
better example then.
limited area. So okay, so if you've got a carpentry business,
Okay.
right? If you've got a carpentry business that just is known for doing quality work,
Yeah.
you will be able to get more customers and slowly expand the business. You haven't filled a niche.
Yeah,
You've
you
just
have.
entered an industry
That's a
where there's a
niche.
little bit of a
Quality.
moat because you need to have an education around
Mm.
carpentry, right? And now you can grow even without a niche,
But quality work
right?
is in itself a niche. If your product is better than other people's product, that's a focus. That's differentiation.
No, it just means that you're
No,
doing
no,
the work
you're
and other people are being lazy.
but brother, the end result is that your product if okay, in this example
Okay, so
is
what is a
this
niche? What is a niche then? Because maybe I think maybe we have different definitions of niche.
okay, hold on. I want to pull up Porter's four forces. A niche would be
Because when they taught
differentiation.
me
Hmm.
when they taught us, I think it was in my marketing class, they specifically told us not to use
Fuck.
quality as one of the components that differentiates your product because they said it was too easy to copy. There's no moat around that. It's too easy for other businesses to copy quality. Like there's nothing about that that's particularly standout.
That can't be true because like people may buy certain cars specifically because they're of outstanding quality. Like,
Yeah, but the moat there is that they have different blueprints and different like engineering
No, no, like
tricks or whatever. I don't know what that's called, but they've got different sort of structures that go into making the product itself. So the product is the niche. The quality is a consequence of the product, right?
no, I don't. Hold on. Does Toyota? Let's use Toyota. Does Toyota use the Six Sigma like that? You remember Six Sigma?
No.
Is not known for formally using Six Sigma program. But no, like I don't believe that's right. Like let's say you had like the Six Sigma program where this is like designed to you have your whole product line. Your product line, you don't make any touches to your product line like from the get-go. This process is designed to like reduce failures to like zero, like less than 1%. So like if you use that, that then you know that's a big moat. Other companies can't just like do that easily.
Repeat that. I don't.
I'm trying to make the case that you can differentiate yourself if your quality is just actually that much better than everybody else. Like
Well,
I
that's
don't
what I'm
think,
saying.
but I
But I'm
don't think
saying
the
it
moat
doesn't
is
count as a
small.
niche. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that something like that can differentiate yourself, but I don't think it counts as a niche.
Well, what if we had, well, yeah, like a niche is more focused. So like what if we
It's a
took,
quality for sure.
yeah, yeah, but it could be a niche too, maybe. Like if you had the entire car industry, that's the market. Then you
Yeah.
had sports cars, that's a sub-market. Then within sports car, name a sports car. Or name something, some derivative of a sports car.
I
Like
don't know cars, man.
uh, you had like tires. You sold tires for a specific model of sports cars that like only a small amount of people needed. That's such a small market. But if your quality was just by and far the best to everybody out there in that very small market, then that would be you would be differentiated in that niche based on quality, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, but the product itself is different than everybody else's,
Okay. What if everybody's
right?
just making
Because
tires and then
if
just selling the
if
shitty ones and I'm
so if we're both doing carpentry and we're doing trim carpentry,
hmm
product isn't different. The quality of the workmanship is what's different.
I agree.
If you make tires and I make tires, the
Yeah.
design of your tires, what makes them better? The design is better, the materials is better. So the actual way you're making it is better in a different way than the way you're doing trim carpentry is better.
Okay, okay. Look at it this way. Look at it this way. Look at it this way. Let's say we're carpenters. Okay, that's
Mhm.
we do trim carpentry. Whatever that's like the baseboards. What is trim carpentry?
Trim carpentry is like I don't know how to explain. I think yeah, the baseboards.
We build chairs.
And
We build no no.
anytime you've got like a wall and at the bottom of the wall it's got
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. Okay,
the
yeah.
wood.
It's what I thought it
It's
was.
called trim. It's called trim, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's not baseboards. Anyways, bro.
I don't know. I'm not a carpenter.
I'm not anything. Like I have no idea.
You're a
Uh,
student. You're a student.
yeah. Listen. Let's say you had we're carpenters, okay? We do trim, okay?
Hmm.
That's the big market, okay? So then we're doing the trim for like mansions, okay? That's the sub market. And then in specific, we're just the best guys in the world for doing the corners of mansions, the trim for the corners of mansions, okay? That's our specialty. It's our bread and butter. That's a niche, okay? Only like a very
But the
small.
quality
Hold on.
isn't
You
what's
haven't let me
different.
finish. You
It's
haven't
the
let me finish. You
product
haven't let
that's
me
different.
finish.
Okay,
Both
okay,
of
okay.
me and you, we do the same thing, right? We're using the same product, but you're just like an alcoholic. You don't care. You're just lazy and you're screwing up the trim. And I'm just going that much far and better than you that people would rather hire me. In that case, my quality differentiates me, right? Even though the inputs and all that are the same. We're doing the same thing with the same
No,
wood. No?
no. Because what is the difference between the material and the labor that goes into doing the trim in a mansion where the house is worth $50 million versus a regular house
No, we're
where
both
they've
doing
got
it.
just regular trim? Like I don't know enough about carpentry to know if this is true, but
Yeah.
I would assume that in a house like that, the material is different. It's going to require different work, so the product itself is different. Yes, they do quality work, but the quality is maybe to the same degree
Oh,
of a
listen,
regular
yeah,
quality carpenter,
yeah.
but it's the actual product itself that's different,
I see what
right?
you're saying. Okay, fine. We're looking at it from different perspectives. I get what you're saying. Fair. I understand now. But what about what I'm
So
saying?
just because I'm
Because
doing quality work
hold on,
in a
wait.
regular house does not mean I can do quality work in a
No,
mansion.
I
It's not
get
because
it.
I don't do quality work, it's because it's different.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. That makes sense. But what, follow my train of thought and tell me where I'm messing up here. Me and you are doing the corners, the corner trim of mansions. We have the same clients. We're doing the same work. We're in the same niche, me and you. We're competing for the same houses, the same corners of these mansions. Okay? If my quality is better than you, I differentiate myself from you, no?
Within, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But just because you're differentiating doesn't mean you're filling a niche.
Okay, you know what? You're right. You're 100% right. Fair. Thank you for explaining this to me. That actually makes sense. All right, fair.
Thanks, man.
Cool. Yeah, you're welcome. See, you learned something in business school.
Yeah, yeah, man.
That's like a
Quality
thousand
doesn't
five hundred
count.
dollar lesson. We should sell courses.
It's good. The way to describe it to us is that you can't rely on quality always allowing you to get the work when other people don't. Like, because there's just no moat there.
Hmm.
Other people can do quality work too.
Hmm.
Whereas if you've got the rights to a brand name that is super got some long history and blah 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 blah
Hmm.
and does all this different things and fulfills a purpose that nobody else can fill. But I don't know. That's why I think the idea of needing a niche is overrated because there's tons of other ways to make yourself stand out without having something that nobody else does. Like I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think it's unrealistic to expect every new business or new entrepreneur to find an idea that nobody else has thought of because there's too many people out there trying to start businesses and thinking up good ideas. Yes,
Yeah.
every once in a while people are going to come up with a truly unique idea and then those businesses go on to be enormous businesses, right? Or phenomenal businesses. But that doesn't mean you can't have success with just the things we were just discussing,
Yeah,
is
but
what I
you
how I
don't
look
need
at it.
new ideas to have a niche. A niche isn't just like new ideas. Like if I'm a tailor and I make tuxedos, but then also I go to the zoo and I make the tuxedos for the penguins when they dance at like the Christmas festival, that's a niche, and I didn't invent anything. I just made tuxedos for
Yeah.
penguins.
Well, that is inventing something. You made tuxedos for
I
penguins.
mean, tuxedos exist, like it's not like I didn't
Yeah,
invent
but nobody's
Facebook.
putting them on
Well, I'm
penguins.
just saying, like I didn't invent Facebook or anything. Like it's all there already, really.
Penguin tuxedos? I've never seen anything like
I'm
that.
sure you can go somewhere like for if you have enough money and you can buy a penguin tuxedo. I'm confident. Someone will make it for you. I'm confident.
All right.
If the
Yeah,
price is
I
right, I'll make
never.
you a penguin tuxedo.
You'll be in your room stitching together the
Yeah, I'll
tuxedo
figure it
for your
out.
penguin.
I could
Yeah,
order it on
that's hilarious.
Temu.
But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on that. Yeah,
Far
that's what
out.
I learned in business school, man.
Far out,
I'm sure
dude.
many business professors would argue with me, but
No, I'm sure many of them are like, yeah, this is a scam. We're just getting paid. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
probably. I think that's
100%.
what my entrepreneurship teachers all thought.